We're such a family. The officers that work in Fairway and the governing body and the community, we really all love each other. We don't say it enough. So now, every time we meet, or anytime I talk to the officers, we tell each other that we love each other. I didn't clear that with HR, but I'm sure it's fine. Hannah, the Fairway Police Department loves you. We love Jonah, and we will always be there for you.
Today is such an emotional day, as there will be a final salute to fallen officer Jonah Oswald after he was killed in the line of duty just a week ago. Now, flags in Kansas are flying at half-staff in his honor today as we look ahead to his funeral. I want to thank you all so much for joining me here at the live desk. As always, I am Janae Hancock, and right now we are joined by KCTV5's Joe Hennessy. He has been live at the Westside Family Church in Lenexa, Kansas all morning long as we look ahead to that funeral honoring Officer Jonah Oswald. And Joe, we just saw it there, but this is such an emotional day, not only for Oswald's family, his wife and 2 young children, but also for his fellow officers. Tell me what you're seeing out there at the funeral or at the church.
The news came in last week. You saw immediate support on social media. You saw immediate support just with people as they made their way to the police department, dropping off flowers and notes and things like that, and people posting about Jonah when they found out who it was. Unfortunately, just 29 years old. The visitation, the procession, we had it live streamed. Hundreds of people were gathered, shedding tears, sharing condolences, doing that all because it is a very, very tough scene. And yes, the funeral happening this morning at 11. As you can see behind me, they have the flag risen up over everybody. That's the way people will be driving in here. You'll go under the flag, and then the police will escort you and guide you where you need to go. So we're starting to see more and more people arriving this morning. We saw a whole lot of police officers on their motorcycles drive through, make their way. We saw some individuals in regular cars. Could be family, could be friends, could be anybody. And then, of course, we're just seeing them more and more strolling in here for this day. Again, the funeral sets to start at 11 a.m.
And Joe, it is just emotional it's chilling, in fact, just to watch people starting to show up there. I do just want to get a better shot at that flag that is now just above your shoulder. But just to see this, and then just to see that sight from Saturday and then last night, it is just a hard scene to watch. And as Joe mentioned, you can see people starting to show up now. That funeral is set to get underway at around 11 a.m. and we will be carrying that live. So you'll be able to tune into our live stream there. Joe, you know, as we look at this video again from Saturday night, you can see hundreds line the streets due to that police procession, and it was just emotional there. You know, what else can you tell us just about Officer Oswald? Let's speak a little bit more about his character. I know you kind of covered it earlier this morning during our morning show, but for the people that missed it this morning, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I was able to find the obituary this morning before heading out here, and just says that Oswald was born in San Diego, and then he surfed, he skateboarded, he hung out with friends, he played video games, participated in sports until he moved out at 17 years old and made his way here to the Kansas City area. So worked 4 years for the Fairway Police Department, worked at a separate department before that. He's well known in the police community. So when this all came out, everybody was hurt by it. Everybody knew what was going on, especially at the Fairway Police Department, where it's a smaller department. So when that news comes out, it impacts people really, really closely. And it said on the obituary, you know, he died a death he would have been proud of, and how many people can say that. Too soon, yes, but he didn't linger past his time. He was known for being the first to jump to action during a call, unfortunately, like the one that happened on Sunday at that Quick Trip. It says he died doing what he believed in service to a greater good, even if he didn't understand it, and that no one really understands it, that he knew he was doing right and did it fiercely. So someone that definitely jumps into action when called. I actually met someone, or I know of someone that knew of Jonah, who was saying the same exact thing. That's what they said. He always was the first one when there was a call came in. It didn't matter what it was. He was the first one to go. So that just shows you so much about his character, his courage, his bravery, and unfortunately the ultimate sacrifice in having to lose his life during that shootout at the Quick Trip.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that ultimate sacrifice. You know, I do want to turn to that obituary that Joe just mentioned and take a look. Just right at the beginning, they say it looks like this obituary was actually written by his wife. It says Officer Jonah Oswald, 29 years old. Writing an obituary for a 29-year-old isn't something that should ever be done, and especially in Jonah's case. Not that anyone should ever die young, but everyone knows there are people who live for a long time on this earth without ever really living. And again, I just want to show you this photo, turning to our Twitter page, KCTV5.com, this photo of Officer Jonah Oswald as we look ahead to his funeral today. It will begin at 11 a.m. at Westside Church in Lenexa, Kansas. All flags are flying at half-staff today in his honor. And we do plan to carry the event live, so be sure to keep it tuned in here with KCTV5.